for a kid to see a body laying there bleeding and thing, it's a shock for them. It's very hard.
The traumatic experience of witnessing the taking of life will forever remain with a pair of children who saw firsthand the execution of a stepfather inside their home here in the Trenchtown community of San Ignacio.
Like 9:15, so I hear somebody come and he said, "Why, Jay? Jay?" And then he never answered. But when they knocked the door one time, he get up from the bed and I tell him, "Where you going?" Then I said I don't pass curfew hours. And then he never answered me. So he just continue walk out from the room and he come and I hear when he open the latch from the door. And when all I hear he said, "Where going on, boy?"
And that's when gunfire erupted. 28-year-old Joshua Vias had been blindsided and fired upon at close range. As many as 4 shots were let loose in his direction.
One behind the other. And that when I come out from my room and I made a run out, and when I made a run out, I hear more gunshots and I may think that then they shoot more towards the house, right? So I just reverse back and I gone down on the ground and my kid then tell me, "Mom," and then I tell him, "Just hide under the bed."
According to Cindy Canche, Vias' common-law wife, it all happened within the blink of an eye. So quickly did the shooting happen that she did not get a glimpse of her husband's killer.
When I hear and the gunshots me over, I get up and I peep. And when I peep, the door me slightly open and I just see one shadow pass. I couldn't recognize nobody, nothing. So I do that jump over my husband's body and I pull the door and I lock it because I'm afraid make them come back.
Behind her was Vias' motionless body. Canche, in seeking assistance for him, called out to her tenant who lives in this wooden structure in the front of the property. Unbeknownst to her, the occupant's common-law husband, Anthony Tzul, had also been shot multiple times during the deadly attack.
I tell her, "Lex, call the police." I tell her like that. And she did scream and she tell me, "I can't." They shot them 22. And she started to scream for help. And then I see one neighbor come out and I tell her, "Please call the police." So I lock my door again and I grab my phone and I call 911. And I tell them, "Just kill my husband." And they ask me where. So I give them the direction and everything. And that when the police come.
Assistant Commissioner of Police Joseph Maivet shares details of a preliminary investigation into the incident which corroborate Canche's version of events.
What happened is that there are 2 houses in the yard and Mr. Tzul, who is 21 years, lives in the front wooden house, whilst the deceased, Mr. Vias, lives in the back house of the yard. As a result, or what police know, is that 2 Hispanic males wearing masks and peak caps entered the location and then shouted for Mr. Vias. And on their way out, they entered the home of Mr. Tzul, where they fired several shots, injuring him. He is in a stable condition at the Western Regional Hospital. At this time, we are following several leads in relation to this investigation.
Could the sale of marijuana be the reason behind the deadly attack, considering similar past events relating to the illicit trade?
Also, during the police's examination at the scene, a black plastic bag was found clutched in the deceased's hand that had in some loose cannabis. And he is known to the police, as several searches have been done on his home. I believe sometime around March or April of this year, he was charged for drug possession by the police.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.